Hi there everybody and welcome back to another stock analysis video. Today we're going to be analyzing one of my favorite companies actually, SJM Smucker Corporation. I consider this company a diamond in the rough, especially when I found it, and I'm going to tell you all why. I'm actually really happy I own this company, and I'm really happy I bought it when I bought it. Only regret is I wish I could have bought a lot more. Before we get started with their actual fundamentals, let me just show you all a couple of the brands that they actually have. They actually have Jif, their Smuckers brand. They even have dog and cat food. Here we have Meow Mix and Milkbone, which is really surprising and really interesting to see. And all in all, it's just a company that, at least just when it comes to the Jif and Smuckers brands, I don't think that they are going to go bankrupt anytime soon. Maybe because of the fact that, I mean, both of these, Jif, Meow Mix, and Milkbone, are pretty popular amongst pet owners and peanut butter lovers, as I am myself. Now let's actually come over here and analyze their fundamentals, starting off with the dividend summary, and actually the reason why I bought this company in the first place. Dividend yield of 2.76%, which is very good, which actually ends up being around 99 cents a share, so almost $1, guys, for an annual payout of almost $4 at $3.96. Payout ratio in regards to the net income of 46.17%. Obviously, we want to see what this is in regards to the cash flow, because companies use their cash flow to pay their dividends, not net income. So that's just something to note. Nonetheless, though, 46% is pretty good. 5-year growth rate is almost at 6% at 5.89%, which is really good to see. That means that within the past 5 years, they have increased their dividends roughly around 5.89%. Their dividend growth, they are almost a dividend aristocrat at 19 years. Just 6 more years and they get that dividend aristocrat status. Ex-dividend date was November 10th, payout date was December 1st, and they pay their dividends quarterly. Now coming over here to the calculator, we got the ticker symbol SJM, market cap of $15.4 billion. PE, guys, look at this PE, 20.33, a little bit high. Obviously, we would like to buy anything, at least my metric is, I like to buy anything under 20. So this is essentially saying that we are almost right above the cusp of what we would like to buy this at. Just one metric, does that mean that we buy it? Not necessarily, but we're going to go on to the actual fundamentals and see if there's any more positives to this company. Current share price, $142.11, and as we saw, the annual dividends per share is around $3.96, which actually ends up being around $429 million being paid out in dividends every single year. After paying this dividend, they are left with $528 million in their free cash flow, which only ends up being around 45% in payout ratio in regards to their free cash flow. So very close to their payout ratio in regards to the net income. I would like to buy anything under 60. This is at 45 right now. This is checking a lot of boxes. Only one's a little bit red, and is only red by a third of a point. Now coming over here to the fundamentals, we got the net income 5 years ago, $592 million, to 1 year ago of $876 million. That's an increase, guys, of 35%. Now obviously the elephant in the room is we definitely see an outlier here 4 years ago where they made $1.3 billion in net income. Now obviously they were not able to replicate this. However, as you can see from the 3 years ago mark all the way to 1 year ago, they are slowly increasing their net income, which means that I think that they might be able to meet my expectations, at least my predictions, when it comes to their net income in the current year and in the coming years. Next, we got the free cash flow. And again, guys, by far the most important metric. All of these metrics are important. Cash flow is essentially, as a great man once said, the lifeblood of the company. If anybody knows who that man was, comment down in the comment section. But anyways, cash flow, it is the lifeblood of the company. 5 years ago, SJM had $866 million to 1 year ago of, look at this, $1.3 billion. Billion with a B. That is an increase, guys, of 31% with an average 5-year free cash flow of $957 million. Very good. And in fact, I actually believe that they might be able to sustain this within the next coming years. Next, we got the revenue, and a very nice smooth line we got right here. 5 years ago of $7.4 billion to 1 year ago of $8 billion, which is an increase of 7.63%. And now we actually take a look at the total debt, a metric that a lot of people just tend to overlook, honestly, because people just don't really care. People think that, oh, if a company's taking on debt, it's fine because they're just going to use that debt to reinvest in themselves. Well, that is great and all. You don't want a company to be drowning in debt like some of the telecom companies, AT&T and Verizon. Just a few to mention. And well, as you can see right here, SJM has debt. However, they are decreasing it by a massive amount. 5 years ago, $5.4 billion in debt to today of $4.8 billion. That is a decrease, guys, of 10%, which is huge. And not just are they able to reduce their debt, they are also buying back their shares at a pretty decent rate. As again, shares outstanding, this is the one that tells you whether or not the company is diluting you or not. You don't want the company to be issuing shares, you want the company to be buying back shares, because the more shares they issue, the less ownership of the company you have as the investor. And 5 years ago, SJM Smuckers had 113 million shares to today of 108 million shares. That is a decrease of almost 5% at 4.61%, which is very, very good. So not only are they reducing their debt, they are also reducing their shares, and on top of this, they are also paying out a very, very nice, healthy dividend. All in all, right now, this is actually looking like a pretty good company to invest. But again, just because their metrics are good doesn't mean that we will want to overpay for them. And one of the ways that we actually figure out their target share price is knowing the cash equivalents. Currently, they have $155 million in cash equivalents with an average cash equivalents of 223. And the reason why we want to know the cash equivalents is because this tells you how much to adjust for debt when it comes to the target share price. You take the company's net debt and you subtract the cash from it. If they have more cash than debt, then their target share price after that would go up than the target share price just in general. And if they have more debt than cash, then their target share price will go down after debt, right? That's just the way that it is. So now, knowing all of those metrics, let's actually make a low, median, and high assumption. I'm going to keep the required rate of return the same, matching the market, the S&P 500 at 10%. For the low assumption, I'm going to assume a growth of around 4%. This comes out for a target share price of $145.11. For the median assumption, I'm going to assume a growth of 7%. This comes out to be $160.90. And for the high assumption, I'm going to say 10%. And this actually comes out to be $177.99. Adjusting for debt, however, they don't have a lot of cash and they do have a lot of debt. I understand that they are decreasing it, but they still do have a lot of debt. For the low assumption, this comes all the way down from $145 to $142.56. For the median assumption, this comes down to $118.35, and for the high assumption, this comes down to $135.44. Adding a margin of safety of 5, 10, and 15%, we would like to buy anything between $87 to $97 for the low assumption, $100 and $112 for the median assumption, and $115 and $128 for the high assumption. The current share price, guys, is $142. Now, I started this episode making a statement that to me this was a diamond in the rough, and I'm actually very happy because I bought it at a specific share price that I'm very happy in buying. Just full disclosure, I own a lot of this company, and I actually bought this company when it was at 120. So I bought it like right around my median assumption target share price, right? Which is very, very good to do. And a lot of people, actually one of my friends, which I hope he sees this video, I told him, I'm like, yo, this company is actually really, really good. Look at all these metrics. And he just didn't believe. And it kept crashing for a while. It went from like 125 to like 119, then 115, then 112, and I just kept buying, and now we're at 142. So if you're watching, my man, you know who you are. I would say I told you so, but you know, we all make mistakes. Hindsight is 20/20. Just next time, make sure you have a process when you see a company that has good fundamentals, because when they have good fundamentals, usually the ticker price will follow in the future. All in all, I love this company, and honestly, the fact that it's at 22.33 PE and they pay a nice healthy dividend of $3.96 per share annually. Honestly, in my personal opinion, if I wouldn't have bought it at such a low price at around like $120, I would personally be buying it right now. Does this mean you should buy it? Absolutely not. This is just my opinion. However, because this is my opinion, I highly suggest you get this calculator and you make your own assumptions. Maybe you don't agree with my required rate of return. Maybe you want more. Maybe you want less. Maybe you don't agree with my growth assumptions. If that's the case, then you should get this calculator. You should add your own assumptions and see what target share price you get adjusting for debt. That pretty much does it for this episode. Like, if you like, comment, subscribe. It really does help with the algorithm. On YouTube, you can follow me on my new tech sites of BitChute, Odyssey, and Rumble, where you see my stock analysis videos and crypto videos. You will get exclusives as well. So with that said, peace out, and be on the lookout for the next stock analysis video.